My roommate had convinced my grandmother to send him $75,000 by pretending to be me on daily phone calls. I was sitting at my desk when I got a voicemail that made zero sense. My grandmother's shaky voice came through my phone saying, "Sweetheart, I know you said not to mention our daily calls to anyone, but $30,000 for emergency surgery seems like so much. Should I wire it to the same account as last time? Please call me back, I'm worried about you." I played it 3 times trying to understand what she was talking about. We hadn't talked in 2 weeks, and I definitely didn't need surgery. When I called her back immediately, she sounded confused. "Why are you calling again, honey? We just talked an hour ago about your recovery." My stomach dropped. I told her I hadn't called her today, and she went quiet before saying, "But we talk every single day. You call me every morning at 10. That's when I realized someone had been impersonating me to my own grandmother. She'd been sending money to help with medical bills I never had. I asked how much she'd sent in total, and the number made me sick. $75,000 over 8 months. It started with $500 for textbooks I never bought, then $2,000 for car repairs on a car that worked fine, then $5,000 for medical bills that didn't exist, then $10,000 for a legal situation I'd never mentioned. The amounts kept growing, and so did the elaborate lies. My grandmother's hearing had gotten so bad she couldn't tell voices apart on the phone anymore, especially with her old landline that she refused to replace. Whoever was doing this knew exactly when to call, because I was always at work at 10 in the morning without fail. I had a sick feeling about who it might be. My roommate Trent had moved in exactly 8 months ago, and things had been disappearing from my room ever since. $20 here, $40 there from my wallet that I thought I'd just miscounted. My watch vanished one day, then expensive sneakers I'd saved up months for. When I confronted him about the missing items, he acted hurt and offended, saying work stress was making me paranoid and forgetful. I set up a hidden camera in my room without telling him, and what I caught on video was worse than simple theft. Trent wasn't just taking things to sell, he was photographing every piece of my mail, studying old family photos from my albums, and copying information from my grandmother's handwritten letters that she still sent every month like clockwork. He'd been learning everything about our family history and her life to make his impersonation calls more believable and personal. The next video showed him on the phone at exactly 10 in the morning saying, "Hi Grandma, it's me, just checking in like always." He even mentioned specific neighbors by name and asked about her garden. I needed my grandmother to see exactly who'd been manipulating her, because she'd never believed someone could be that calculated and cruel without seeing it with her own eyes. I told Trent I had to travel for work for 3 days and packed my suitcase in front of him. I even called an Uber to the airport to sell it completely, but I just had the driver take me to my car parked at a friend's place and drove 2 hours straight to my grandmother's house. When I explained everything, she didn't want to believe it at first. Then she got angry in a way I'd never seen before. We made a plan together. She called the apartment the next morning at exactly 10, and just like clockwork, Trent answered, pretending to be me. She told him she'd withdrawn $50,000 in cash because she didn't trust wire transfers anymore after seeing something on the news. She needed him to come get it immediately because it was too much money to leave sitting around the house. He tried saying he was out of town, but she insisted she'd wait as long as it took. 3 hours later, Trent walked through her front door carrying an empty duffel bag. "Hey Grandma, it's me," he said with a smile that made me want to vomit. That's when I stepped out from the kitchen where I'd been waiting. His face went completely white like all the blood had drained out, and he spun toward the door, but 2 police officers were already standing there blocking his only exit. My grandmother stood up from her chair, her whole body trembling, and her voice was shaking with rage when she said, "You told me you loved me every single day. You said I was like a mother to you. How could you do this?" Trent started yelling desperately that I was the real criminal because I never visited her, that he'd given her more attention than I had in years, that he deserved that money for all the time he spent making her feel loved and wanted. The officers cuffed him while he was still ranting about how unfair it all was and how she'd chosen the wrong grandson. My grandmother got most of her money back through insurance, but she never gave me cash again, not even a birthday card with $5 tucked inside like she used to send me every year.